What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. I'm Harrison, and today I have a super fun one-day Lego build. As you can see, there is a plethora of Lego. I have all sorts of different parts bagged for this build. So, as the title says, I am building the guest book for my wedding. I am getting married in a couple weeks as of filming this, and I'm very excited. My fiance and I had this really cool idea for our guest book. We wanted our wedding, all of it through and through, to be something very different, not your standard wedding. We didn't want the same cookie cutter things that you saw from wedding to wedding. Everything we wanted to be super unique and very us. And one of the things that we both love to do together, and it's all thanks to me, is build Lego. And we thought it would be really cool to have our guest book be of our guests in Lego form. One weekend about a year ago, we happened to be at Disneyland and we were staying in the hotel. And on one of the walls is this massive, like 10 foot by 10 foot display framed of all of the Disney Lego figures that they had. So literally had like every minifigure possible that was associated with Disney, from Mickey Mouse to Darth Vader. Everything was on this essentially stud board that was framed. And I loved that idea. And I had thought, why don't we do something similar for our guest book at our wedding, where maybe we're at the top and then all of our guests are down below, and everyone's gonna have like a nameplate. So during cocktail hour, there's going to be a bucket of like heads and torsos and legs and accessories and different hair pieces, and then they get to assemble themselves and then find themselves on the wall and place their minifig there. And that's how we know like who was there and what you decided and who's like their own unique character. While conceptualizing this, we worked with a local Lego store, Bricks and Minifigs in Lomita, California. I highly recommend. Miguel is an amazing guy. He owns and runs the store. Shout out to them. I'll leave the links down below so you can check them out. But they are a mom and pop Lego shop. They are licensed to sell any Lego brand builds. They sell minifigures, like they collect minifigures, like rare ones and rare sets and things, and they buy used bricks and all sorts of things. They're just a great shop. I love them. They've been nothing but help, especially when it comes to all of the minifigure parts. This is literally just a box, a little cup of heads and torsos. We source all of our minifigure parts from them. We really wanted very specific minifigure accessories. We wanted like everyone to be in suits and dresses and not just like random legs and torsos. We wanted it to be really like classy looking and very unique. So that's been the tough part. So they've been really helpful in getting us all set with all of our all of our pieces that we need for our minifigures. Unfortunately, I would love to say that we also bought all of the pieces from them, but Lego gets very, very expensive, and especially doing something to this scale, where when we had started, we initially had about 200 guests that we thought were attending. Now we're down to like about 150, but it's still a lot to acquire all of these different pieces to assemble something like this, especially for this size in Lego. So I outsourced all of the bricks through different various companies on AliExpress, and I found just the best option just because I could get them in bulk and all of the specific pieces that I needed without having to sift one by one or go through the Lego website and just really meticulously, hand pick each where I could get, you know, a bag of 300 1x4s for like $2. And trust me, I would love to have bought this all through Lego. I love Lego so much. It is my childhood. It is so near and dear to me. There's nothing more than I love than Lego and Star Wars, and then maybe my soon-to-be wife. Those are like my top three. But just doing something like this, it's very tough for the budget. So I unfortunately had to go through an outlet like AliExpress. But the minifigures, because we wanted them to be super specific torsos and bodies, like I was saying, we did go through a very local mom and pop shop who's been super helpful. We still have some more to get from them, but for now, we have a good collection. So what we're gonna do today is start assembling this. I really wanna make sure that I have everything that I need, make sure that it fits the way that in my head it makes sense. So we're gonna start assembling. I'm gonna start with the base, and then we'll move on to the way that I am going to be having these minifigures displayed. So I'm gonna shove all this aside and then get going. I think actually first I gotta organize everything in just different piles so that I know visually. Although I am starting specifically with the base plates, I just wanna know moving forward where everything is. All right, so I think I got everything organized in a way that makes sense to me. I have my 1x6s, and I have my 6 stud plates. I have my 1x2 snots, my 2x4 snots. I really didn't know what these were called back when I first started this project, but like the L brackets apparently are called snots. Who knew? I have all my black tiles, my 1x4 tiles, my L's, my 1x6s, my 1x4s, my 1x4 bricks, and then I didn't realize I got these 2x3s tiles, but I guess I did. I'm sure I thought of something in my head, but yeah. Okay, so here's the deal with these. These are great. I think these are 16 by 16, and they also come with these pins, which is amazing because that is exactly what I need. So we're gonna start by assembling the base. I think the last time I checked it, I needed 5x8. So we're gonna start with that. And I probably will have to do some quick math because we're having about 150 guests. Some people are couples. So that's like the part that I need to figure out because I think I can fit 6 minifigures per square. I remember doing the math. So comfortably I can fit 6 minifigures per each 16x16. It just depends on who's like a family, who's a couple, who's coming alone. And then I will need to figure out who or how many squares wide I need to go. I think one thing, my brain's all over the place, but I do think one thing I was starting to say was I initially wanted us to be at the top and all of our guests to be at the bottom. My lovely fiance did have the idea to put us in the center and then all of our guests surrounding us. And I really like that idea, so I think that's what we're gonna do. And I will have to figure out that bit, but for now we'll just focus on getting it all assembled. Let's see. I don't know how many to put. How many of these do I have? Okay, I have 65 pegs. And 10 plates. So I wonder how many I need to put. Like at least 6 per each. Doesn't need to be exact. We'll just start figuring it out. I'll start with 6. How many holes I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 different holes. Okay. Maybe I'll put 5 in. All right, we got 1 panel. It's very, very flimsy. I have an idea for this. I'll touch upon it later. All right, so I'm just 1 peg short from it being completely even, so maybe I'll leave it and see if there's any extras that come from the next batch. We actually might have less pegs in this one. Oh wait, there's a bunch in this one. So I will say there is an inconsistency with package to package. I don't know if I messed it up when I was like sorting through everything initially, but like this one has probably quadruple the amount of pegs than the other ones did. I have already pulled everything out at one point, the backing tiles, just to see like the layout. So I don't know if I mix that up, but that's one thing to note if you're gonna order from a place like AliExpress, that the inconsistency from package to package might be. Again, it might be just because I swapped things, but that's just one thing to note when you're ordering from like a third party place. I hope I have enough pegs. It's starting to get real low. I guess I can calculate. How many do I have? I have 6 long panels. Let's see. I can do 6, so I have 6 times 5, 30, and times 6. 180. So technically just with this grouping, it should be enough. So So if we're in the center, that would leave. I think let's just do one more grouping just to have it. But according to my math, I have enough room for 180 minifigures. So that should be plenty of room. I don't know what I'm debating. It should be plenty of room. It seems too small, like visually, but let's just do one more just so I have it, and if I need to pull it off, I'll pull it off. All right, so I got the last one. I can't even do another 5 if I wanted to. I only have 32 pegs left, and to do another panel like this using 10 pegs in each, and then 5 on the final one, I would need 45 more pegs. So if in fact I do need another panel, I will have to get some more. But I think let's start assembling. All right. Here is my display here. I'm just going in the back and making sure they're all actually connected. There's a little gap right here. So what I'm thinking is to keep it sturdy. I'm gonna have to attach it to like a piece of wood because it's so flimsy. I'm worried that any weight to this is gonna snap. And obviously we want it to be framed and hung, but for the process of it being used and displayed during the cocktail hour, like it just needs some backing so that it doesn't have this wobble. I mean, you can see it's got like a natural bend to it already. I think it's just, you know, bending under its own weight. So that's the current issue. We'll come back to that. Initially, I was thinking that I would need to have this be disassembled so that I could transport it, but it's honestly a lot smaller than I anticipated. So it'll be able to fit in my car super easy. The next part is I need to add a nice black border, which is why I have all of these tiles. I have different size tiles. I have the L brackets. The other issue is some of these are meant to be for the nameplates, so I do have to be cognizant of which ones. It was the 1x6s. The 1x6s are the nameplates. Is that what I got these for? It's 120. Those are 200. This is 50. This is 50. Okay. Well, I don't know what I can't remember what I was thinking. Shoot. Alrighty. I'm either missing pieces or I didn't think this part all the way through. So I think what I'm going to do is I definitely need I probably don't need exactly 150 of these. 120 is probably fine. But let's just start and see what happens. I did have a thought to use these L brackets in the corners. We'll see what happens here. I guess I didn't need 100 of these, but I only needed 8 L brackets. So this one's got a blemish on one of the corners here. Let me see if I can cut that off. It's causing the stud not to snap in place. Okay, cool. That worked. All right. Interesting dilemma right now. I will come back to that. One thing I didn't account for is the type of studs I would need. So I did know that I would probably need a couple extra 1x4 tiles, but the one thing I did not account for was the potential to need 1x2 tiles. It's because I have the L brackets or the L tiles. I wonder if I just remove those, what happens. I mean, I still won't be able to fit a 1x6, so I may just have to, I might have extra black ones in my office. So I did in fact have some 1x2 tiles in my office. I forgot I bought a bunch of random colored tiles for a different project that I'm working on in the future. And I had some extras. But yeah, there it is. That is the frame. I think it looks nice. It's really nice contrast of the white and the black. Great. I just realized right this second that we don't have a minifigure of ourselves, like a bride and groom minifigure. So I gotta get that. Good to know. I have the list. I know what I need to do now. So here's the thing. All of these snots and why did I get white tiles? I'm missing some studs. I thought I figured that part out. Oh, I know. Okay, all right. So here's what I need to figure out. I got to figure out how many couples and how many families and how many singles there are, because that depends on who gets the 1x6s and who gets the 1x4. So I need to go through that right now. All right, I think I got my numbers down correct. If not, I mean, it's Lego, it's modular. We can fix it quite easily. So now it's just a matter of assembling all of this. So I'm gonna start with all of my single people first. People that are coming solo or don't have a +1. So essentially what I'm going to do is using this 1x4 and using these 1x2 snots. Oh wait, no, I got the right ones. Okay, so oops. I also need these 1x2, or these, yeah, 1x2. Just like so. And then, wait, how did I initially want to do this? And then my tiles. And then I need my 1x4s. Nope. Boom. And then this should, in theory, attach. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna come closer so you can see what I have built here. So let's build this. So this is everything that I have. I have this 1x4, a 1x4 tile, and then a 1x2, two of those, and then a 2x2 snot. So on the back side, I'm just going to start putting all these together. And this plate goes on top. Oh, and then this 1x1 will go in there. And then we're gonna print the person's name here, and then the fig will go right on these front two. That way it's off the back of the wall. And yeah, and so with the 1x6s, it'll be like 2 studs longer so that a couple can be there. It took a lot of like figuring that out, how to like mentally like plan that. So I literally prototyped it. I got multiple pieces and figured out what I needed to do for that. But I think it's gonna work really nice, and it's gonna give it some depth off there too. The only thing is gonna be figuring out how to frame it. Like it's probably gonna need to be in like a shadow box, or maybe just like a piece of acrylic around it. I don't know yet. We'll worry about that after the wedding. So I'm gonna start just building more of these shelves. All right, that's all 40 of my shelves for the single people. Now I'm going to move on to the couples, and then I'll end it off with the families. That'll take a little bit more finessing just because some families are 3, some are 4, some are 6. So, some might be like double, triple wide, depending on the size of the family. Thank you so much for joining me on part 1 of this Lego guestbook wall build. I'm so excited with how it's turning out. It is way better than I ever envisioned it turning out to be. It's one of those projects that just kept evolving as I went through it. I got to talk to so many different people in the Lego community on how they would do it, and just using different ideas on my experience building Legos and being creative with Lego, how I would go about it. And so this was just a really cool building opportunity. It's definitely a process that is taking way longer than I anticipated, hence there being multiple parts. I honestly, truthfully thought this would be a 1-day build, but there's just so much that went into it that I wasn't anticipating, just different aspects that just came up. As any art project goes, there's just things that you don't anticipate. There are things that come from elsewhere in the universe that say, hey, what about this? And nope, we are doing this project this way. And that's just kind of how it always goes. Nothing ever goes according to plan, which is okay. It's all a part of the process and how you navigate it and rework it and make it for the better. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And then once you do, hit that bell notification so you know when I upload part 2 of this Lego build. You can go ahead and follow me on social media and see all of the things that I am posting frequently, anywhere from art tutorials to creative builds to Legos. It is all happening on social media. Go ahead and connect with me there. If you have art you want me to critique or Legos you want to chit chat about, let's do it. I am there for it. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you in 2 weeks for part 2 of this build. Bye, guys.